My wife gave birth but the baby isn't mine. She admitted to cheating but I'm stuck raising another man's child. Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, we've got a story from r/survivinginfidelity where Op's wife gave birth to a baby that isn't Op's. Before we start, if you have any personal stories of how you got out of a toxic relationship with your cheating wife or girlfriend that you want to share, feel free to email them to me. Let's get started. First story. About a year ago, one of my buddies/coworkers who just so happens to be married to a woman that works with my wife Jane came to me and confided that his wife believed there was something fishy going on with my wife and a man named Ryan. They were getting unnaturally close, spending time alone behind closed doors even though they don't directly work together, and the way they were interacting with each other was causing rumors to spread throughout their office. I asked my wife about her relationship with Ryan, and she referred to him as her work husband and was adamant that their friendship was strictly platonic. I told her that I was extremely uncomfortable with the way their friendship sounded and asked that they spend a little less time together. She agreed, and that was the end of it. A few months later, we discovered that she's pregnant. We were genuinely excited to become parents. I ended up meeting Ryan at a baby shower and got a good look at his appearance. My wife and I were probably the happiest we'd ever been while she was pregnant. Then 3 months ago, she gave birth to a son. It didn't take long before I began to realize the baby looked nothing like the two of us. Jane and I have light-colored hair, pale skin, and blue eyes. Yet our son is several shades darker than us both, has brown eyes, dark hair, and even more oddly a cleft chin. Ryan has all of these features as well. For the past 3 months, I've been driving myself crazy wondering who his father is. Many friends and relatives who have seen the baby have made remarks about little he resembles us as well. Anytime me or someone else has mentioned how odd he looks with us, Jane's just laughed and chucked it up to genetics being finicky. This week I couldn't take the thought of her having cheated on me and I admitted to Jane my fears and asked if there was a way that the baby isn't mine. She went ballistic. I told her for my peace of mind I wanted to get a paternity test and she then threatened to divorce me for not trusting her. Her over-the-top reaction only made me more suspicious, and I went to another sub asking for advice where I was provided a link to an article that proves that unless he's a genetic anomaly, her son didn't come from the two of us. I forwarded it to her and she finally came clean about the affair. I've already gotten in touch with a lawyer, despite Jane promising me that everything between her and Ryan is over and her pleas to try and be a family of 3. She knows how much I love kids and is using that against me. I've bonded with her baby and I do love him, but I have no desire to raise another man's baby with my cheating soon-to-be ex-wife. We will be taking a paternity test soon, but neither I nor Jane are expecting it to come back a match. The problem is that now Jane is asking me to still watch her son. She recently had to return to work from maternity leave, and I had originally scheduled all of my vacation time for the year to watch the baby in between the end of Jane's maternity leave and her mom's return from California. So now I'm stuck having to care for the constant reminder of my wife's affair. It's not the baby's fault, but I can't even begin to tell you how much I don't want to spend the next 7 weeks bonding with this child. This all just sucks. I never expected to be in this situation, and I'm terrified that regardless of the paternity test I will still end up financially and legally responsible for this kid. Ryan wants out of the entire situation according to my wife. I don't even know what to do at this point, but I do know that I hate the idea of being responsible for this kid, which just makes me feel guilty on top of being depressed. Before we take a look at some replies by other Redditors, take a moment to like the video to show your support to the channel. Don't forget to leave your own opinion on the story in the comments down below. Now let's look at some comments. Puchady wrote, "Lawyer here. You need to learn about a little something called the presumption of paternity. It varies state by state, but the general gist of it is this: any baby that is born into a marriage is legally presumed to be a child of the husband. The only way to rebut that legal presumption is by a court order. Importantly, most states set a time limit on which you can try to rebut that presumption of paternity, often within as little as 2 years from the date of the child's birth. If you don't at least file your challenge in court by the date prescribed by law, then you will forever be presumed by law to be the child's father, regardless of what DNA evidence can prove. That means you will have all legal and financial obligations that a parent has for a child. Read that again: all legal and financial obligations that a parent has for a child. The bottom line is it will lead to you owing things like child support for a child that isn't genetically yours. I see you have a lawyer. I would suggest discussing this matter with your lawyer. Ask them about going ahead and filing the paperwork to challenge paternity. Have your wife's affair partner named in that suit as the likely father of the child. That child deserves financial support, and it should come from the man who was responsible for creating the child. This is truly a situation if you snooze, you lose. Don't fall asleep on your rights. Ask your lawyer about how to get the challenging paperwork on file. Once you do that, then you can decide if you want to go through with disestablishing your paternity. But at least have everything in place so you can protect your rights no matter how you want to proceed. Canabrilla wrote, "What the fuck, dude? Don't do it. It is her problem now. She can contact the family of the bio dad and ask them to help her, or pay for a babysitter. After all, she still hopes that you will be the babysitter of the son product of her affair? Have more self-respect, bro. Tell her no, don't let her keep using you. It's not your responsibility to care for that baby, that is your wife and Ryan's burden to bear." Swansong Blue wrote, "Ryan wants out of this situation. Well, tough shit for Ryan. He shouldn't have ejaculated in another man's wife. You can be pretty sure that Wonderboy will stay out of this until the smoke clears. After that, he will be back on your wife's case. Not as far as paying child support, of course. That would be no fun at all. If he is married or has a significant other, you need to think seriously about blowing his world up. He didn't worry too much about your marriage. Don't even think about getting concerned about your wife. She deserves no sympathy at all. She preferred Ryan's dick, lied about it, and deserves no sympathy or understanding. The baby is hers and Ryan's responsibility. She needs to start proceedings to get child support from him. Or does she love him so much that she doesn't want him to go without? I can't imagine how you're coping. This is next level betrayal. Sending support. Sending strength. Keep focused. Stay strong. Good luck." Deleted wrote, "First, good job on forcing the truth out of her, eventually. That can be like forcing a rock to sing the national anthem, so you did well. Second, aside from all the legal elements which are flowing nicely here, it sounds like you're in an emotionally sound place. You've chosen to leave, which is completely understandable, and you're right. My advice, don't waver. You may be tempted to make things work at times, but doing that is going to confuse you and slow you down on your road to healing. My main point here is to be all in or all out on reconciliation, and it sounds like you're all out, which is perfectly fine. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Stay strong and fight like hell. As divorce progresses, hold strong to not being on the hook for child support. Force her to go after Ryan for that. With DNA evidence in hand, I sincerely hope the court agrees that he's the dude to pay up." Mike's Tropical 61 wrote, "So you got good advice on the paternity and the baby part from the attorney, but in all of this, your story is twofold, isn't it? When I read your tale, it made me so angry that I could not go to sleep thinking about all of this and had to reply to you. So you may end up having to take care of the baby financially, but what about that wife of yours? Are you seriously considering staying with her? And I do not want to be insulting to you really, and if I come off that way, please excuse my rant. She lied to you when confronted with her affair the first time, blatantly lied, then she did not use protection and got pregnant, maybe to leave you and hitch up to Ryan? Whatever the reason, she continued to lie to you all through the pregnancy. Now the baby is born and she continues the lies, and then when you ask for a paternity test, she uses threats and emotional blackmail to get you to back down. She pleads with you to stay and have it be just the three of you. She promises that Ryan is out of the picture. How do you know? How could you possibly know that she is telling you the truth this time? Yes, Ryan does not want to be in a family relationship with her and his baby, but does that mean he is out of the picture? Maybe they are continuing their affair while you take care of the baby. We already know what her word and promises are worth. So if you stay married to this master manipulator, who is to say that you will not face round 2 of Ryan's babies? She is using you because you are the security and the stability in her life, the one that takes care of things, but is she done with her lover, or will there be another down the road? So please see this as 2 separate issues. One, see if you can escape the paternity responsibility that comes with a child born inside of a marriage. Do this by speaking to your attorney. The second issue is to end the marriage before this happens to you again. What do you think about all of this? Do you have any advice for Op on how he should handle this situation? Also, do you think Op will be able to heal from his wife's betrayal? Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss an upload.